Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Coffee Conversations and Q&A. Good to see
Yes.
you guys.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, we're ready for some coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
It's time to froth.
Ooh, frothy, frothy. So
It's
good.
nice and thick.
Oh, look at that yummy goodness. I don't know about you, but to me,
Usually I'll have a spoon and
coffee is not coffee without the froth on top. Oh, foamy goodness.
so spoiled. She ordered a coffee
really-
yesterday, boy. It was tar. First one in months.
We make our own coffee all the time. We were out and about yesterday, and we're like, oh, we'll just run by and get some coffee. So I gave them the order, put it in, walked out because we were in a hurry, like we needed to get to the next thing. So normally, it was my mistake, I normally taste it
First, yes.
first before, if it's drive-through, if it's walk-in, I taste it because I know my coffee.
They like to give her coffee instead of cold brew.
So there's a major difference between cold coffee and cold brew. I do not love coffee, okay?
Yes.
I would much rather drink tea. Unless it's cold brew, which to me is more like a tea because it's steeped, right? So it doesn't have that harsh bitterness that it just like dirt to me, like coffee is. So if it's cold brew, it's steeped, and then you put the lovely foam on it and a little stevia, it's great. Well, yesterday I told him I wanted my cream, all the stuff, cold brew. It said on the tag and the label, that's what it was. Tasted it.
We took off.
I had to give it to, it was so bad. So
Then I had it, and like I said, it was tar, super strong
I
coffee.
don't even know what it was. It was bad.
And we didn't eat yet. So of course,
He had his.
I was driving,
And
went to
mine.
Kansas City, so I had both. And later on, I was like, "Hi."
He was buzzing.
Okay. She's talking to me, and I barely understand.
I'm like,
so
you
I'm
might need to just like calm down a little bit. You're talking
Need to eat.
very loud, very fast.
Yes,
Okay.
I was loud.
Yeah, he was-
Oh, and I was mad at everybody.
Yeah, he was like, go. I'm like,
Move!
simmer down, simmer down. You're gonna be
Sushi
okay.
day.
So we had to get. Yesterday didn't exactly go as planned. We still got everything in, but I don't know if y'all saw our video, but we were changing shoes in the car because we needed
were running late.
to get to our next thing. And so, again, no excuses. You got to be ready for it.
Let's
but
go.
sometimes, the day just runs a little long. One thing leads into the
Yes.
next, and you
Yes.
still got things to do to get them done. But
So
we've
that's
got
out
our
there, and it was super thick.
yeah. So we've got our yummy cold brew.
I'll just sit here and
Wow.
do a Cheryl.
I don't do that.
What do you do?
I don't use my finger to scoop
When I
up
give you
stuff.
this, what do you do?
But not in my cup.
Okay.
Only in the cold brew, in the frother.
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay, wait, you gotta go. Okay, all right. Well, he's off camera. We will get ready for our questions. At first, I want to know, from you guys. Let's hear from you. Do you like coffee? Yes or no? Do you prefer coffee over tea or vice versa? And what type of coffee do you like? Most people have their standard tea or coffee order. What is that, right? Do you like cold brew? Do you like cold coffee? Do you like hot? Do you like espresso, cappuccino? Do you like it with certain cream, almond milk? Do you like sugar-free?
Stevia.
Do you like certain squirts of a vanilla or whatever? There's all kinds of stuff.
We gotta get different kinds also. Stevia.
I mean, I don't really notice that big of a difference in my coffee with it though.
Yeah,
So let us
disappears.
know what is your drink du jour? That's right. You got to use the drink du jour. That's what you do.
Okay.
Okay. So let us know. And the other thing that I think is a little different is a lot of people in the morning they get up and they have to have their cup of coffee. But I'm not that way. Do you have to have your cup of
I
coffee?
don't have to have
No,
anything.
we can function without it.
Yes.
Things are a little sweeter with it, as long as it's good. But I don't have to
Yes,
have it.
when
So
I'm making breakfast for the
it's-
kids for the morning,
it's a little
Yes.
treat that I like to have.
and they're by
And
myself.
It's yummy. Yep.
Yes.
But pots of coffee all day long.
Oh no.
No. And
No.
and we can function if we had to get up and go without our coffee. We can
good.
go. So,
Yes.
anyways, let us know what's your favorite coffee or tea. How do you like to fix it, make it? And do you live for your coffee or your tea, or does life move on without
Yes.
any?
All right.
All right, let's jump
So
into
we have questions.
today's question. Why don't you ask while I sit?
Yes. What are the biggest challenges you see at events?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good question. Whoever asked that question, good question.
Very good.
We were actually talking earlier about we're going to create, we have our Instant Impact
challenges.
Events show that we do, and we cover lots of different topics. We were talking about this earlier, that, we have so many topics to cover. We could probably put out, a show
One
a
a
day.
day, yes.
It's just time-wise, we've got other things going on, so we've committed to putting out, one show a week, and then we put out this Coffee and Conversations show with you guys, and we post that on there. So if you jump on the live, you can ask questions on here too. But we also post this on the show feed. So whether you like to listen to it or watch it, you can come back and do that. But
Yep.
I would say the biggest challenges at events is people getting in over their head. They don't know what they don't know, right? And they don't
That's with
understand.
experience.
They
Yep.
don't understand the challenges or the pitfalls or all the things that come into an event, and they bite off more than they can chew. So it's like, oh, I want to have this event, and then you have it, and then it bombs, or it becomes the budget gets blown out,
Yes.
or
And that's usually from food and beverage.
AV, food
Yeah.
and beverage,
Yes.
the venue that you chose, and just
Yes.
you don't know
And
what
they
you
will
don't.
bill that credit card.
Yeah, well, because they have it on file, so.
So
You don't know what you don't know. And so the major challenge that we see a lot of people is they get in over their head and they don't plan for the unforeseen. They think, well, and that's what's deceiving about having events. When you're good at putting on events, it looks easy. Just like when you're good at anything, it
Right.
looks effortless,
It's
right?
done.
But there's so many moving parts behind the scenes, and it's
Yes.
not what happens at the event. It's all
All
the
that
things that
stuff.
led up to that event that make that event a success. That's what makes it
Yes.
a well-oiled machine, is the months of work that you've put into the event that you're doing.
Correct.
The work, the lead up, doing things the right way so that your event is impactful. A lot of times we see challenges with AV.
Yep.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't have someone running the AV. That's a big thing. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry, or anyone on their team,
Right.
they think it's good. And
Yep.
and you're
dealing with the hotel, and they
dealing with
have
the
to
hotel.
leave for breaks right in the middle of your event. So you have somebody that's running it that has to leave because of required breaks or whatever you need, and then there's nobody there to run
Yeah,
it.
so relying on the hotel too much. And the other thing is not having an overall arching, what is the point of this event, right?
Yeah.
And so what is the purpose of putting it on? Because then everything revolves around that nucleus, right? It's like, this is
Yep.
the reason that we're putting on this event. This is the impact we're going to make. This is the experience that we're going to create around that event. And most people just kind of go through the motions like, oh, we're having an event. We're going to do this. We're going
Yes,
to do
and
that.
nothing came out of it.
Right.
Because you didn't think about what's the end result.
What are you wanting? And it's just a lot of those, they're ever evolving, and there's lots of moving parts that come along with an event. And when you haven't had them, and you don't know what you're doing, you can kind of get in
Yes.
over your head on that. So
Right.
coming along on listening to our show or asking
Yeah, asking
questions,
questions and reaching out to us.
getting into the different things that we have or other things. It's you've got to immerse yourself in the event space to
Right.
really know, because just going and sitting in
Everyone's different.
as an
Everyone.
attendee, you see it from a different vantage point. As a speaker going to other people's events, you see it differently. When you're putting on your own event and you're responsible for the venue, for the AV, for the speaking,
Yes,
for the food
getting
and
everybody
beverage,
there.
getting everyone, all the butts, and,
Butts
seats,
and seats,
all
yes.
that kind of stuff. It's a lot, and it's all encompassing of what you need to do.
Yep.
But any one thing of those goes, and it kind of derails the whole thing. So
Especially when you can't even open your doors because of a challenge before the event. Things happen.
it does, and so then that starts putting a bad tone on the event, because now you're starting late, and things aren't happening the way you want
Yeah.
them to, and it kind of just becomes like a
Snowball effect.
yeah, it
Yes.
does. All right, next question.
I like having my event ballroom dim. Is that okay?
It depends. If you're, dim, it depends on how dim you're talking. Like if you're talking like mood lighting,
Lights almost off.
that could
That's
be a
too
little
dark.
creepy.
You're gonna have half the audience. You're gonna wonder why everybody is quiet, because half the room is asleep.
And it just, there's, there's an energy that comes about. So when there is a dimness so that you can see, like the images on the screen are bright and the projectors, you can see that really well. You have a lot of uplighting or something towards.
Yes.
So there's dimming the lights somewhat
Just a little.
to brighten the other,
Yes.
that's fine. But if you're talking about
20%.
dimming them so much that it's like
Yeah, you're ready
you're
to
not
watch a
really
movie.
able to see what's going on. You're not able to take
Yes.
notes or write. Then
Right.
that's
A challenge.
That's different, right? And that gives a different vibe. And also, is it a daytime event or an evening event? If it's an evening event,
That's
then
okay.
dimming the lights, that's an ambiance, right? That's a maybe you're having like a dim and you're having
And you have uplighting all
uplighting
around.
and things around, you're having dancing. So that's maybe more of like a club atmosphere that you're going
Yes.
for, or a cocktail hour,
Yes.
or
even
certain
a gala or even award show. As long
galas
as
and
they bring
award
that
show, you
lights
got to
up
be able to
and
bring the
down.
lights up and down on that. So it depends on how dim we're talking. You definitely though want light. You want
Yes.
it to be bright, but not so bright that everything's blown out. But you want it
Yes.
because that creates it's energy, and the brighter something is, the more energy that gets circulated. Unless you're talking about an evening event, and then we're talking about ambiance, because people aren't taking notes.
Nope.
People aren't needing to stay awake, right? They're interacting, they're meeting, they're mingling,
Yes.
they're drinking, they're eating.
Networking.
It's a different type of, morning to evening, dimming the lights is different, and also atmosphere that you're wanting to create, because the lighting does create a different type of
It
atmosphere.
does.
All right, next question. Should I have entertainment at an event or cocktail party? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, entertainment's
Yes.
great. That
It gets everybody excited.
it adds to the overall event. Now, what type of entertainment? That's up to you. It depends
Right.
on
You
what
can
type of event that you're having.
Yep.
But yeah, I
It
mean,
varies. A band, magic show, hypnotist. You can have all types.
you could have, like a whole production. You could have I've seen some where they have like a whole theater production that comes in.
Right. Or dance production.
Dancing comes in. Sometimes magic is good as long as it's on a big enough scale that everyone can see it, or
Right.
that you've got a camera in there that's showing it to everybody.
Right, as
So
long as you have screens with it.
yeah, so you have to think about what type of entertainment would your audience enjoy.
Yes.
Sometimes having a singer come in and just sing.
Yes. It'll
that,
set the tone, and people like entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, people like to
They're
be
being
entertained.
entertained.
They love being entertained. So the more entertainment that you can provide, that's
Yes.
awesome. I mean, entertainment is something that
Go for
everyone
it.
and loves. And if you can bring in, an act or a headliner, or
Even better.
that's an even bigger thing. People want to come
Yes.
for that as well, and it adds to your overall experience.
Yeah,
So
and change it out each year.
yeah, don't bring. Yeah,
Don't
if you're
bring the
constantly
same.
bringing the same entertainment, it's kind of gets a
Oh,
little
I've seen it.
a little sleepy. I've been
Yeah.
there, done that. That was you want it fresh and
Yes.
new and exciting. People are like, wow, last year.
Unless the act is totally different.
Well, then that would be different. It's,
Right.
yeah, it could be the same because some people have multiple acts that they do,
Mm-hmm.
so that's fine. But you do want to bring in entertainment, and then the one caveat I have on the entertainment is you do want the entertainment to be on brand for you. So you got to
Yes.
think about that. Like if you're bringing in someone and it's a club atmosphere, but that's not really the atmosphere you were going with. Are
Know
your
that ahead of
people
time.
on board with that, right? Are people wanting to come and let their hair down and
Yes.
let loose and have a party? Then that's fine too.
You have to do research and find
you gotta
out
know.
who you're having at your event.
Or not, and I don't always go towards who I'm having. It's what experience am I creating?
Yes.
Is this a reflection of what I want this event to be about? And if it is,
Right.
and it passes that, then great. If it's not,
Yep.
find someone else for your entertainment. So that's when you're thinking about that, think about is this going to add to the overall ambiance?
Or is it
this
gonna
gonna
hurt?
is this going to work with the event? Is this going to make sense? All those things to think about. And then if you're having that evening entertainment and then you're coming back the next day, you've got to think about that too. You don't want people to be trashed and smashed, and if you've got a next day.
No,
so
because they
kind of
won't even be there till
yeah, so
10.
think about the entertainment you're bringing in. What comes along with that entertainment? What type of
Right.
atmosphere does that create? Is that more people are drinking more?
Yes, and
You
watch
know,
out for that open bar.
Yeah, because again, you want people to have
Give
a good
out some
time.
tickets or something.
But some people don't know their limits on what a good time is and what too much is.
Right, you don't want anybody on the table. Woo!
Have we seen that?
Yes.
So, you know, it's just
I think that was me, but I didn't. It
might
wasn't
have
even.
been. Could have been dollars being passed somewhere. I'm not sure. All right, next question. Why do people have TVs by the stage?
Good question.
Observe it. Are they
Think that-
TVs?
They're monitors.
Yeah.
Because when what's on the screen is what's on the stage, unless there's a separate one for notes, the speaker's notes. Because you don't want the speaker to talk and find out what's behind him. He or she has to go like this and turn their body, because their screens aren't over there where they can look at you and talk. They're behind or on the far sides, so it's easy to read off of what they want on the slides.
Yeah. As a speaker, when you're up on stage, it's those TVs or monitors are there so that you can continue to engage the audience and glance. So you can see, okay, this is
Yes,
the next
glance
slide.
or read
This
whatever's
is the
there.
topic that I'm
Right.
going on next. And a lot of times, you know, you can have one that shows the topic that you're on now, and then what the other one has the next slide, so they know kind of how to transition from one to the next. Even more so than notes. You know, you could have the notes on one, but it helps the speaker to be able to say,
Yes.
this is what we're talking about, and then how do I transition into the next slide, and that's over here. And again,
Yes.
it makes you not have to constantly, it's
Could
more
turn your
professional.
head.
You're not having to look, you're able to keep engaging with the audience,
Right.
keep looking
And
forward.
you don't want to turn your back.
Yeah, so
looking
you
at
want
the
to always
screen.
be that. So those monitors there
Yes.
aid for that. They're basically
Right.
speaker aids.
And you want at least 42 inches.
Yeah.
The
You
smaller
don't want
they
'em
get, the harder it
squinting.
is to read.
Like what?
Let me
is
get my
that?
glasses
What
on.
is that? It needs to be
What
big
is
enough
that,
that you
my
can see.
bifocal? What is that?
I don't know.
The single?
I don't. No, bifocals are two.
No, what is the one?
Your spyglass. I don't.
Hey, mate.
The kids have their magnifying glasses.
Oh, okay.
But no, you want it big enough so that your speakers can see it without having to, and it's more of a glance, right? Because the speakers know their slides. So you glance,
Yes,
okay, I know
they
this
should.
topic. They should. And so it's just basically, so they know where they're at, what they're speaking on, and what's coming next in their slide deck.
Yep.
All right, last one.
Last question. What advice would you give to a new speaker? Mirror. Practice.
Yeah, I was going to say my advice is you got to get out and speak, right? Speakers speak. So if you're a speaker, whether you're new or not, you need to get out there and start speaking in front of people. You don't have to have your presentation down. Just get good at speaking. Get good
There you go.
at talking. Get good at
Yes.
communicating, but not on a
By
communicating
yourself.
here
It's
is
gonna have to be
different
to others.
than standing on stage and speaking.
And looking at those eyes.
And there are, you know, lots of networking groups that are out there that you can join. Some that are, you know, that
Right, what, even Toastmasters?
Toastmasters is good for, you know, heavy speaking. If you're
Yes.
not quite ready for that, you can just find some networking groups. You know, go to Meetup or other local events that have the ability for you to get up and speak. And maybe you give,
Yes.
you know, a couple-minute talk.
Right.
And then
and
maybe
have a subject.
hey, you have a
that you're
subject
gonna
that you're going to
always
talk
be
about.
speaking on.
Or maybe you get up and, you know, you offer like, hey, I'd love to come at the next event and speak about this for 30 minutes,
Offer
right?
your services.
So then you get up and talk, or maybe it's a 5-minute or 10-minute. You got to get FaceTime, right? You
Yes.
got to get out and get up there
Yep.
and start honing your skills and your craft. And the
Yes.
only way to get better at being a speaker is by speaking.
And video yourself. So
And-
you can see your mannerisms or your robot, you know, relaxing your arms.
And the more you do it, the easier it will get, especially when you watch back and say, oh, I didn't know I was doing that, or I need to change this, or
Yes.
I say a lot, or, you know, I don't really seem like I command the topic.
Or
I need
the
to.
likes. Like.
And so your fillers, you want to eliminate your fillers, but you also want to be okay with taking moments to pause, right?
Yes,
and,
pretty
and,
pictures.
And talk and create and move.
Yes. Pretty pictures.
That you stand, you plant your feet, and you talk to your audience, and then you can move over somewhere else, plant your feet, and talk to your
Correct.
audience. But
That's very important.
as a speaker, the more you speak, the better you get at speaking. The more you get out there, the better you're going to get at figuring out what topics you're actually good about talking on. You're going to find, like, I didn't like that topic. You should be able to pick a topic. For
And
one,
just
that you're an
go
expert
on
in.
and on and on.
For two, that you know a lot about, because then you could talk for a minute, or maybe it opens up
Right.
like, hey, you know what? We'd love for you to get up there and speak for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. It's like, well,
yeah, you want them to be able to have to kick you off.
I don't know enough about that to speak for an hour, right?
Yes.
So it's like, what are you good at? What do you enjoy? What do you like? What are you thinking about speaking on? And just get out there and start doing it, right? And then see what kind of
Yes.
feedback you get. What are people saying? How are you working on that? How are you changing it? How are you making yourself better? And you should see a trajectory of an upward, like, okay,
Yes.
I'm getting better at this.
Yes, and you'll be more comfortable.
I'm not
Yes.
as fearful of getting up in front of
Yeah,
people.
I'm ready.
I'm good to go, right? I spoke for 15 minutes, but I had another 15 minutes to speak. Or hey, I was up there for an hour. I could have been up there for another 5 hours, right?
That's a great thing.
That's what you want. You want to start getting comfortable, and that's how we are with events, right? We can
Yes.
sit here and talk about events because that's what we know, right? We've done it
Correct.
for so long, and for us, it's kind of just it's becoming that it gets easier because we've done it. Someone else, like, they could talk about a couple things about events, and that's not their
Yeah.
thing, right? So you've got to know, what are you speaking on, what are you good at, what are you skilled at, and get out there and
get
just
out there.
start speaking. And
Yes.
don't turn down any opportunity to
Gig
speak.
because you think it's too small
Right.
or even
about-
too big.
It's about getting FaceTime. It's about getting up there and doing it. And then the more you do it, the more
Yes.
repetition you're going to get, the better you're going to get at it. And then you can be like, okay, now I can actually go over here and speak on this,
Yes.
or I can go over here and
Keep
speak
the
on
faith.
that. And just keep going with it and have fun with it, right?
Yes.
You want to challenge yourself. You want to push yourself. You want to
Yes.
get out there and there's
Be more natural.
and there's plenty of places that you can speak. You can speak at the chambers. You can speak at meetups. You can speak
Church.
at other events and stuff going on. So just check out that in the area where you're at, and I'm sure that you'll be able to find some things that would you could get on stage.
Yes.
Or not a stage. It could be just standing up in front of a group of people
Yep.
and start spreading your message and your platform.
Yes.
Alrighty, so definitely keep your questions that you guys have for
keep
us
sending.
coming in. We love answering your questions on these Q&A calls that we do
Yep.
and go live, and then sometimes we put up a question box that you can ask those questions.
Yep.
And in the meantime, we definitely. Oh, we'll talk about that here in a little. We had another question come in, but we'll catch that on the next one that we have. So in the meantime, guys, we will talk to you here soon, and
Take
enjoy
care.
the rest of your day.